Once again, I'm Pastor Truman. We join you on our study of our book, Life's Most Important Quest Through the Gospel of John. We're in chapter 2, page 40. We're having a video supplement that you can find on our website, TrumanHerringMinistries.com. Now, we saw that Jesus outlined the plan of salvation in John 4:10. Woman, you must know that salvation's God's gift. 2, you must know who Jesus is. 3, you must ask Jesus for living water, and we must thank Jesus for salvation. Now, we're looking at salvation as a free gift, salvation as a finished gift, and then we're looking at salvation as God's final gift. It's final because the gospel leaves us with no possible means of salvation other than Jesus. It leaves us bankrupt. God has no plan B for salvation. We're called to receive Jesus. And so we give this illustration that amplifies that Jesus is the only way of salvation. John 14:6 says, I am the way, I am the truth, I'm the life, and no one comes to the Father but by me. Often in sharing Christ, some people will want to stress that there must be some other way besides Jesus. Yes, Jesus is the way, but what about other ways? What about other people? What about other religions? And so this illustration is to focus that God's gift of salvation is in Christ alone. It's His final gift. And so this is just a made-up illustration that, as I witnessed, I've kind of used to help illustrate this point. And so with someone who's hesitating about Jesus being the only way of salvation, I've said, let's suppose that there's a deadly disease that has invaded our earth. And many people are dying. And this death rate's in a matter of hours, days, maybe weeks. But you could die any day. You could die in your sleep. It's caused great distress and fear. But there's one man, one doctor, for some reason his blood is immune to this deadly disease. And so from his blood, he develops a vaccine, a shot. And so when you discover that you had this disease, you panic, you go to your doctor. And your doctor says, I'm sending you to this doctor. He has a shot. If you'll take this shot, you will not die and you will be saved. And so this man goes to visit the doctor. And when he's at the doctor says, without a doubt, if you'll take this shot, you will not die from this disease. But this man becomes foolish. He says, well, isn't there any other way that I can be cured of this disease? What about vitamins? What about supplements? What about better eating? What if I exercise more? Isn't there a pill I can take? And the doctor says there's no other way of salvation. None of these things can save you. Just take the shot. It's free. It's provided through this immunity in my blood. Now you would call that man a fool who refused to take the only cure from this disease. But yet our world is filled with folks who do not take the only cure for salvation. Listen to this verse in Acts 4:12. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there's no other name under heaven given among men whereby you must be saved. Now, Jesus is the only remedy. He was the only one born of a virgin. He was the only one that did not have Adam's blood. He was the only one whose blood was unique and sinless. And He's offered His shed blood on the cross by His death as the only remedy for our salvation. Look at Romans 5:18 and 19 with me. Even so, through one man's righteous act, a free gift came to all men, resulting in justification of life. For by one man's disobedience many were made sinners, so also by one man's obedience shall many be made righteous. This gift of salvation is God's final gift. It wasn't your obedience, it was His obedience. You could not obey God's law perfectly. You didn't have perfect blood. You sinned, faced the judgment of God. You and I are facing the death penalty. But Jesus is God's remedy. And so we encourage you to see that Christ is God's final gift.